What if I told you that the wealthiest people walking this planet right now are completely invisible to you? Not because they are hiding in some underground vault, but because they have mastered the art of looking completely ordinary. While the rest of the world is busy posting rented Lamborghinis on social media and financing designer outfits they cannot actually afford, the ultra-rich are quietly doing something entirely different. And today, we are going to pull back the curtain on exactly how they live, think, and operate in secret. Let me start with a picture. Imagine a guy at your local coffee shop. Plain hoodie, old sneakers, nothing flashy. He orders a regular coffee, tips the barista $1, and sits in the corner scrolling through his phone. You glance at him and think nothing of it. What you do not know is that this man quietly owns 12 commercial properties across 4 states, holds a portfolio of index funds worth several $1,000,000, and controls 3 separate business entities, none of which have his personal name attached to them. That is not a fictional character. That is stealth wealth in real life. And it is far more common than you think. Here is the first thing you need to understand. The ultra-rich treat privacy the way most people treat money. They collect it, protect it, and build systems around it. When someone with genuine, generational wealth acquires a new property, their personal name is nowhere on the deed. It goes into a trust, an LLC, or a holding company. Their home address is unlisted. Their phone number does not exist in any public database. This is not paranoia. It is a deliberate strategy. Because when people know what you own, they know how to target you. Lawsuits, scammers, unwanted attention, all of these become exponentially more likely the moment your name is attached to your assets. Now, here is where it gets really interesting. The ultra-wealthy do not just hide their identity. They essentially disappear from the ownership records entirely. Assets get placed inside family trusts, generation-skipping trusts, or offshore entities. Technically, on paper, they may appear to own very little. Functionally, they control enormous amounts of wealth. There is an old saying that circulates in truly wealthy circles: own nothing, control everything, and they live by it. Think about how they travel. You might assume everyone with serious money is flying private all the time, posting window seat photos above the clouds. But many of the wealthiest people in the world fly commercial without a second thought. Why? Because private jets create paper trails. Flashy behavior creates attention, and attention, in the world of real wealth, is a liability. Warren Buffett has been famously documented driving modest cars to fast food restaurants for decades. He is not doing that for the cameras. He genuinely understands that performance is expensive and invisibility is priceless. The same logic applies to what they actually buy. While social media is flooded with influencers showing off luxury watches and designer everything, the quietly wealthy are purchasing things that will never trend online. Farmland, storage unit facilities, multifamily housing in unremarkable zip codes, boring index funds that compound silently year after year. None of this is glamorous. None of it gets likes. But all of it generates cash flow and builds generational wealth without putting a target on their back. And speaking of targets, here is something that will genuinely blow your mind when it comes to how the ultra-rich actually dress and present themselves in public. They deliberately look like they work for the very companies they own. You could be sitting next to a person who controls a private equity firm, managing hundreds of millions of dollars. And they are wearing a plain t-shirt and drinking water from a gas station bottle. This is not an accident. It is camouflage. Because the moment people perceive you as wealthy, the dynamic shifts completely. Everyone wants something. Everyone has a pitch. The simple act of dressing down buys them freedom. Now here is the part of the video where things get genuinely game-changing. If you want to start building real wealth, and not just the appearance of it, you need more than inspiration. You need a system. That is exactly why the Wealth Accelerator Academy exists. It is a group coaching program and comprehensive course designed specifically to help people like you move from where you are now toward genuine financial freedom using the same frameworks and principles that the ultra-wealthy actually use. The link is in the description below this video. Seriously, check it out. Now back to the secrets. One of the most powerful and least discussed wealth strategies is something called buy, borrow, die. Here is how it works. Instead of selling appreciating assets and getting hit with capital gains taxes, The ultra-rich borrow against those assets at low interest rates. They get liquid cash without a taxable event. They live on that borrowed money. When they eventually pass away, their heirs receive the assets at a stepped-up tax basis, potentially eliminating capital gains taxes entirely. This is why people who have built billion-dollar fortunes can sometimes pay a lower effective tax rate than a school teacher. They are not breaking the law. They have simply learned to work within the legal framework, at a level most people never even know exists. Beyond that, the truly wealthy structure their finances through legal entities specifically designed to minimize exposure. S corporations for income, generation-skipping trusts for estate planning, real estate structured through 1031 exchanges to continuously defer taxes. These are not loopholes in the shady sense. They are tools that are legally available and widely used by those who know they exist. And the circle of protection does not stop there. The ultra-rich surround themselves with layers of people who act as human firewalls. Assistants, lawyers, accountants, managers, and advisors, who all stand between them and the outside world. If someone wants to reach them, they have to get through multiple layers first. If someone wants to sue them, they end up dealing with shell companies and corporate structures rather than the individual. This creates both legal protection and genuine freedom. They are untouchable not because they hide, but because they have built systems that make reaching them nearly impossible. There is also the matter of how they raise their children. Many ultra-wealthy parents deliberately keep their kids in the dark about the family's true financial picture. Children are sent to regular schools, encouraged to work part-time jobs, and taught the value of earning before they ever learn the value of inheriting. Some families use something called a silent trust, where the child does not even know the full extent of their inheritance until they reach a certain age, sometimes not until their 30s. The goal is to produce someone who has grit, discipline, and genuine capability rather than entitlement. And then there is the bigger picture philosophy that ties all of this together. The truly wealthy have completely redefined what it means to be rich. Most people think wealth looks like a Lamborghini in the driveway and a mansion with a fountain out front. The ultra-rich know that those things are often signs of financial fragility, not financial strength. Real wealth, in their view, is waking up without an alarm clock. It is having your time completely under your own control. It is knowing that your family will be financially protected even if something happens to you tomorrow. It is zero stress about money because the systems you have built continue generating value without your constant attention. They have exited the game that most of the world is still trapped in. The performance game, the status game, the constant need for external validation through material things. The real power move is the one nobody ever sees coming. And that brings us to the most important question. Now that you know how the ultra-rich actually operate, what are you going to do with that information? Because knowledge without action is just entertainment. If you are serious about making genuine moves toward financial freedom, you do not have to figure it out alone. The Wealth Accelerator Academy is a group coaching system and full course that gives you the roadmap, the community, and the accountability to actually build the kind of wealth we have been talking about throughout this entire video. It is not about looking rich. It is about becoming free. The link is right there in the description. Click it and take your first real step. The richest person in any room might be wearing plain clothes, driving an older car, and never once mentioning their net worth. Because real wealth does not need an audience. It just needs to grow. Stop chasing the image and start building the reality. That is the secret the ultra-rich never want to become common knowledge. But now you know it. The only question is what you do next.